Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about what to do with your MT here early in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM, because the auction house is lower than I anticipated that it would be. Admittedly, at the time I record this video, the game has only been out for about 12 hours for early access as I record this video, and by the time y'all see this video, it'll be closer to 30 hours or so, because I'm recording this at about 7 p.m. Central Time on Wednesday night. Y'all will be seeing this video midday sometime on Thursday. Not totally sure what time, but it'll have been around 30 hours or so of the game having been out at this point. So I will say the auction house will probably be a lot more populated by the time that y'all see this video. But I'm surprised at how low these prices are, and I think that leads to some interesting choices here early in NBA 2K25. So before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 30,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, tons of consistent daily MyTEAM content. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. So first things first, the only cards that are on the auction house right now that are really desirable, I think, are for the most part these full throttle cards. LeBron, Wilt, Russell Westbrook, other guys like Carlos Boozer, Alperen Şengün, Raja Bell, I would say are probably some of the most desirable ones, but there are some really good cards that are surprisingly affordable as well. So yes, a guy like, for example, a Raja Bell, who is really good, is also very expensive, about 100k MT. That's not cheap, especially at this point in the year with how cards are selling. But then you got a guy like Alperen Şengün. I mean, he himself is close to 100k MT, and he's expensive in his own right, and for good reason. The best diamonds are expensive. But then you get a guy like MLK. Really, really good card. Elite defender. 25,000 MT. Shockingly cheap and affordable for this point in the year. I know the MT isn't easy to make this year, but this is probably the best perimeter defensive card you can get in the game, period, for 24k MT. That's really, really good. A guy like Jerome Kersey, also a really versatile, really good small forward, power forward option, about 25k MT. Chauncey Billups, one of the best point guards in my team, 25k MT. Even Billups, I know his release isn't unbelievable and he's not an elite slasher, but he's got gold Deadeye, limitless range, bailout, handles for days, impeccable, challenger, pick dodger, glove, interceptor, even on-ball menace. So he's got perimeter defense, shooting, and playmaking, which is really, really nice to see as well. Like, there's a lot of versatility and a lot of good cards such as those three guys. A Cliff Robinson, who can stretch the floor a little bit, has some speed. He's 6'9", can play power forward or center. 78 speed as well is really, really nice. Another guy who's affordable. He's not quite as cheap as the other ones, but I lied. He's about as cheap as the other ones. He's 24k in his own right. So he is as cheap as the other guys. I mean, guys like that, in my opinion, really might be worth buying. If you have the MT and you are looking to fill a spot in your lineup, power forward or center, you might look at a Cliff Robinson or a Jerome Kersey. If you're looking for a point guard, Chauncey Billups would be a great option. Scott Skiles, another really, really solid card on paper. I don't think he's unbelievable, but for 32k MT, I mean, he's got 8 Hall of Fame badges: Deadeye, Dimer, Unpluckable, Set Shot Specialist, Lightning Launch, Gold Limitless, Handles for Days, Pick Dodger, Glove. He may not have the best defense in the world, but he's pretty solid, pretty versatile. Yes, he's not an elite slasher, but again, I think these cards day one, the cheaper ones especially, give you a lot of versatility and a lot of good options. Now, I will say, I would stay away from Ricky Pierce. His release stinks, and he doesn't play much defense, and I think there's enough good shooting guards. Kevin Duckworth can't shoot the 3-ball at all, so I don't think he's worth using either. He's also slow, so he's an inside big who's not fast, and when you have an inside big, you at least want them to be fast. He is not. So I would stay away from those cards, but a lot of these guys are shockingly affordable, to be completely honest. Carlos Boozer, he's in the mid-range. I mean, 59k MT is definitely not cheap at all. That's a pretty expensive card at this point in the year, for sure. And then obviously the top guys, LeBron, Wilt, Russ, super duper expensive. I got lucky to pull Russ in the first place. But as y'all can see, I bought Şengün. I bought Şengün admittedly earlier today for about 60k. He's a lot more expensive than that yet now, so I think I actually got a good price for him. MLK, though, I bought him for 24k. That's an exceptional value, I feel like, for one of the best shooting guards on all of my team, who is just a truly top-tier defender, can play the 3, can be your on-ball lock against literally any card in the game, even T-Mac or LeBron. He can do the job, and that is really, really valuable. So to me, there are a lot of top-tier cards that are definitely worth buying right now. Now, I will say, besides those guys, though, that I think are pretty affordable for what they are, which is guys like, for example, ML Carr, who I haven't even thrown into my lineup yet, but I need to, and I'm actually going to do so right now, throw him in there at the small forward position. Besides, for those types of guys, I would recommend trying to save MT. As y'all can see, yes, I have some expensive cards on my team. I'm not even following my own advice with having Russ and having Şengün, but I think outside of that, if you are looking to build your team right now, the best area to go to build your team is going to be, for example, if you buy the Pro Pass, that Vince Carter is elite at the shooting guard position. Definitely worth using. Rubies are super cheap right now, and there are a lot of super solid ones as well, which is, I think, very nice. Now, amethysts, on the other hand, not as cheap. I think Giannis might be about the most expensive one. He's 21K, so I think he's pretty expensive, but there are a lot of really good ruby cards in my team that you can use to upgrade your team. For example, if you need a small forward, Paul George, less than 3,000 MT, 2,500, 2,200 MT. Like, a lot of cards like Paul George, like Kawhi, like the free Jason Tatum that is available, that are really, really good. Donovan Mitchell, if you need a point guard, he's athletic. He's got a super nice release. He's got decent size. He's a semi-capable-ish defender. Yes, he's not the best defender in the world, and I know these rubies don't have the best badges in the world, but they're going to get the job done day one as athletic, versatile, really solid cards. So outside of those top-tier diamonds and maybe a couple of amethysts, the only amethysts I would buy are Giannis and Steph. If you really need shot creation in the point guard position and you feel like you can dribble and create a little open shot, Steph's release is awesome. I feel like he's a very solid option. And then obviously, I think Giannis is just one of the glitchiest cards in this game right now. Even his amethyst is really, really good. Outside of that, though, if you're looking to build out a lineup right now, that's where I would go, is targeting those amethysts, especially guys like Kawhi and Paul George and Donovan Mitchell and John Morant at the point guard position. Athletic, fast, good release, all that type of stuff. I think the amethysts are really where you are going to find your most success. Sorry, the rubies right now are where you're going to find your most success in terms of team building value here day one in my team. Even an Anthony Edwards shooting guard as well was a good option. And again, I actually think the Pro Pass is pretty good value this year, so I wouldn't shy away from that as well if you do want to get the Pro Pass. I think Vince Carter is an absolutely elite card, one of the better cards in the entire game right now. Elite athlete, capable defender, super versatile, can attack the rim at a super high level, but also has a super nice release. I think he's a great card. There are a lot of guys like that that are very attainable right now, so if you're not getting the top couple guys, especially the affordable versions, the ML Cars, the Chauncey Billups, the Jerome Kerseys, the Cliff Robinsons, guys like that, I would be targeting these rubies, the free amethysts, stuff like that you can get for free early in my team. Again, and then I think there's a lot of good free cards as well. Not to mention, by the way, one other thing. If you need a center, Wembanyama's expensive. Kristaps Porzingis is less expensive. Those two guys, Emerald Wemby and Emerald KP, are probably going to be your go-to day one centers. I also think Amethyst Embiid, while kind of expensive, is a solid option as well, so I might consider him. But that's about what I'd say I'd be looking for day one here with the auction house and that type of stuff, and what I'd be planning to do. Outside of those semi-expensive but not exceedingly expensive diamonds, the guys who are in that 25K-ish range, focus on getting your rubies, focus on building out your team a little bit, getting just a solid base tier squad, and then save your MT. Try to build up as much MT as possible for future drops, for future content. We're going to continue to get good budget cards and stuff like that over the next several weeks that will continue to help you upgrade your squad. And again, you don't need the best team in the game day one. I know my team is not a great example of that because I have a really, really good team, but I know I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite when I say that, but it is still true. So that is my advice to y'all with how I would be using the auction house right now here to build your team in the first couple of days of my team. So that is going to do it for this video. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.